In response to affected victims in this lean season, WFP, through the support of the people of Japan, conducted a lean season food response assistance to affected victims. Today, we will be discussing on how important this initiative is, but also it was accompanied with social and behavior change communication sessions on food fortification and as well as the nutritional value of the food that has been supplied. Today, to discuss this, I have with me, in my immediate right, Mr. Serigne Modou Diouf, who is the Deputy Executive Director of the National Disaster Management Agency, who would be here with us to discuss on how they were able to aid this process. Mr. Diouf, you are welcome to the program.
Thank you very much, Madam, and I wish to welcome the viewers for allowing us at least to contribute in our own quarter in the program that has just started.
Thank you very much, Mr. Diouf. It's a pleasure to have you. And on my immediate left, we have, like we fondly call him, Uncle Bakary. Mr. Bakary Jallo is the Director for Nutrition Program Implementation Department of the National Nutrition Agency. Mr. Bakary, or Uncle Bakary, you're welcome to the program.
Thank you very much, Mariama. Good afternoon, viewers. It's a pleasure sitting here today to discuss this very important topic with you. Thank you.
Thank you very much. It will be important to also note that this response was done in a period of 3 months, and then the targeted beneficiaries are victims of windstorm and other issues that happen. But then I would just allow Mr. Diouf to maybe take us through who were the beneficiaries of this initiative before we move into the conversation.
Yeah, thank you very much, Mariama. Like you've rightly said, the assistance was meant to assist those who were affected by floods and windstorm, and also some other vulnerable individuals whose names were taken from the social registry.
Okay.
That forms the composition of the beneficiaries.
Mm-hmm.
That affected almost the entire country,
right.
Like West Coast, LRR, CRR, North and South, URR, and NBR, respectively.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so can you maybe take us through the numerics in terms of numbers, because you have taken us through the regions that were affected, but in terms of the numbers, maybe you can, for the benefit of the people that are watching us right now.
Yeah, for the benefit of the beneficiaries, the numbers actually were targeting 20,000 individuals within 3,333 households in the entire country.
Okay.
And each and every household who were a recipient got rice, oil, beans, and salt.
Mm-hmm.
You know, to help. The whole idea was to prevent the deterioration of food and nutrition status of crisis, of those affected by crisis.
Okay.
Everybody knew that when crises do happen, people report their cases to our decentralized offices. Mm-hmm. And it is out of those records that some that benefited out of the crisis that they underwent were selected through our records, while the other chunk came from the social registry.
Okay, thank you very much. I think that has been cleared for people to understand that people were not just randomly selected to be part of the beneficiaries, but there is an underlying condition of those that are affected by windstorm but registered under the agency as well. And then you also have some that are from the social registry as a result of the social protection initiative. Now, Uncle Bakary, I would like to push the question to you. We understand that lean season is one of the most difficult times as far as food safety is concerned, and having to have WFP coming up at this very crucial time to support households with their basic needs when it comes to food, how would this help in ensuring that we are able to provide safety and well-being of each and every person that benefited from this project?
Okay. Thank you very much, Mariama. We all know the Gambia has two main seasons. One is the rainy season, during which time the country, most people, especially the farmers, are involved in food production, in crop production, including crops that will be used as food in the household. Then we also have the dry season. There's evidence to show that the production, local production of food in the Gambia does not meet our entire food requirement. Mm-hmm. Therefore, a lot of the farmers produce just a small part of what they need in terms of food supply throughout the year. This is used from the time of the harvest to towards the early part of the rainy season. And around when rain start, the leftover of whatever they had is mostly used as seeds. And by the time the rain season advances, the food stock in the households is very low. This is what we refer to as the lean season.
Okay.
That's because at household level, the amount of food stock from local production is very limited.
Okay.
So if the local production is, the stock in the household is limited, the household is likely to go into food insecurity. Yes.
Okay. I think that is important for us to mention. Now, Mr. Juf, I would want you to take us through the entire process of how the activity has been done, from the selection to identification all the way to the distribution, because I understood you were on the field to have first-hand experience as far as this issue is concerned.
Yeah, thank you very much. And just to add on to what my brother said, we all know when you talk about lean season in the country, there are 3 critical months in this country. That's July, August, and September.
Okay.
All that you had is sown, it has germinated, not ripe. So we call it the hungry season.
Right.
So that's why it's associated with the lean season. Like you've rightly said, in relation to your question, those that became beneficiaries underwent a targeting process.
Okay.
It was not something that you close your eyes and get, but there is a process put in place in which people were assessed. After they were assessed, they were verified. We underwent a verification mission to those that are registered with our various offices, because the entire operation was trying to promote the sense of transparency and accountability. And this was why all the actions that were taken were based on set target. And in the targeting, we also look at targeting criteria. Because like Bakari said at some point, in such situations, everybody proves to be vulnerable. But who is more vulnerable than the other? Yes, we may all be vulnerable, but our level of vulnerability may differ from one stage to another. So we had to put a set of criteria so that those selected must have to fall within the category, amongst which include households who were assessed and recorded as part of the flood and victim affected population.
Okay.
That means you were affected, you reported your case, the authorities you report the case to when came over, look at the situation to confirm that yes, you were affected, and so on and so forth. That's one criteria, set of criteria. The other also looking at female-headed households without any considerable livelihood source. We give preference to those households that are headed by women.
Okay.
You understand? And then who don't have any means to supplement their livelihood activity. It's also a criteria that was used. Households headed by widows, children, or orphans were also given. We knew in the Gambian context, a husband may die, leaving a large family to the wife, who has no support, or leaving it to the eldest child, or to an orphan. Those are things that were also considered. Households resort to negative coping strategies, like those that are so poor that they have to get into the bush, fetch firewood or kaba, or some of these local foods, bring it to the market, sell, sup, and go and cook. Okay, we also have those sort of households within the country, which was also a criteria. And households that keep on begging. You have to go to the streets, you have to beg to be able to survive. All those are among other some of the criteria that were set to qualify one to becoming a beneficiary.
I think that is very much important and key, as you have mentioned. Now, Mr. Jallo, back to you. We understand that the National Nutrition Agency, as a strategic partner in this initiative, was conducting social behavior change sessions across all the distribution points. From the discussions, we were able to understand that they were able to at least discuss with these beneficiaries on some of the very important nutritional values of the food items that they were given. But interestingly, we look at one also element, which is the issue of fortification. How important is this in terms of ensuring that people get to eat the right type of food, especially in very crucial moments like this?
Okay, thank you very much, Mariama. Like we said, this is a time when the people are affected by the low levels of food security. The households have limited amounts of food. Yes, the foods that are provided include rice, oil, beans, and the salt. The rice will only provide carbohydrates mainly. The oil is fortified with a micronutrient specifically called vitamin A. The salt is also is iodized. That means it's also fortified with a micronutrient called iodine. Whereas the peas are rich in proteins, and they also contain some other micronutrients, very important micronutrients. So the social and behavior change communication that accompanied the food distribution was to educate the recipients, the public, as well as the public, on the importance of eating a diversified diet that would meet their nutritional needs. Obviously, these foods that were supplied will not provide all the needs of the individuals in the household.
Right.
So the SBCC also expanded on the need to complement these foods with other foods that would enrich the diet of the household, so that they would prevent malnutrition in the household.
Okay.
Fortification. We have nutrients are divided into two types. Those nutrients that are required by the body in large quantities.
Okay.
Those we refer to as the macronutrients, and those are the nutrients that you will get from the carbohydrates, you will get from the proteins, and you will get from the fats and oil. But we also require other nutrients in small quantities, but very important for the development of the human person. These are referred to as the micronutrients, and these are the vitamins and the minerals.
Okay.
So most of the foods that we eat in the game don't come with these micronutrients.
Okay.
So what we do is to add to these nutrients those carbohydrates, those oils, and the proteins, add onto them nutrients that would enhance their nutrient density. So we add minerals and vitamins on specific foods. For instance, the oil that was supplied to the beneficiaries was fortified with micronutrients, including vitamin A, which is the most important vitamin added to oil.
Okay.
Because vitamin A is fat soluble, so it is best to fortify the oil with vitamin A. When people consume that fortified oil, they'll get the fats and oil, but they will also get the vitamin A.
Okay.
And oil is something that is consumed in by the large population. So fortifying it would ensure that the large population have access to food that is rich in vitamin A.
Okay.
We do most of our cooking using salt. So salt is also another vehicle for fortification.
Right.
And the nutrient that it is fortified with is called iodine, which because everybody consumes salt on a daily basis.
Right.
So putting iodine in salt ensures that everybody gets iodine at least whilst they eat the food.
Okay.
So, but there are other foods that are also fortified or they are biofortified. You have the rice could be fortified, with iron. It could be fortified with other micronutrients as well.
Okay.
But this rice that was distributed was not fortified. But the social and beverage communication was built into the supplement, the distribution, so that the public is also encouraged to eat other foods along with these foods that were supplied, to ensure that they get all the required nutrients for their proper growth and development.
I think it's very key and vital. Now, Mr. Juf, obviously there is no initiative that wouldn't experience challenges. Maybe at this point I would want you to share with us what are some of the challenges you guys encountered during the distribution process.
Yeah, like Vivek said, every successful program, however successful it is, you may have some challenges. Among the few challenges include the issue of transportation. In getting to the respective DPs, that's the distribution points. We had some of the vehicles had some delay in getting the stock to the respective DP, resulting to us in some places we need to reschedule the distribution. Perhaps the other challenge was the printing of the vouchers. Sometimes your name appear in another DP, so we need to work it out and ensure that it is sent to it. We also another issue that we had, was the issue of overpopulation, because in humanitarian work there is a defined line as to how much a recipient should trek to receive assistance. You cannot call it an assistance when the person had to walk 10, 15 to 20 kilometers just to get assistance. In the humanitarian world, you are being told that the person must not trek for more than 5 kilometers. So we discovered, especially at the station of Birkamaba during the first round, that people were trekking all the way from Santan to Bubu right down to Birkamaba. And if you know the distance, it's quite a distance. And when we did our preliminary meetings to plan the second round, it was an issue that we had to flag. And thank God now another DP was created closer to those people, to have them done. But besides, those were the only major issues that came up, and of course the capacity was there for us to sit, discuss, and make sure that it is addressed appropriately.
Thank you very much for highlighting that. Now, Mr. Jallo, we understand from the responses or the reaction of most of the people would be what is given, it's okay, but may likely not be enough. That is one of the issues that were raised earlier. And then you also have some people that would say, I am equally affected but could not receive the support, even though we have also tried to make it clear to people that in every initiative, especially when it comes to responses or assistance, there is a limitation. We cannot in any way cover all grounds. But we understand from the SBC sessions as well, there were some coping mechanisms and resilient activities that people were encouraged to do. But then also we connect that to food scarcity when it comes to the country, especially the period that has been mentioned, that is the lean season. What would be some coping mechanism that you would put out there for people to also adapt to in an event they are faced with any of these situations that we have mentioned? What could happen in an event there is no response or there is no assistance coming from any of these strategic initiatives?
Okay, thank you very much, Mariama. That's very important. First, we should understand when there is this kind of assistance, it is not going to provide you with the 100% supply of whatever you need. It provides you a percentage of what you need. And it is an assistance to help close the gap. So that you can better build back. I know my colleague from NDMA, one of the terms they use in disaster is building back. And that is to help the individual to build the resilience so that the shock that they had experienced, the effects will be minimized and they can catch up quickly. So, what initiatives should individuals take to help them build back is in terms of food security, we should look at the production of foods that are early is it high yielding, those that are they grow early maturing, yes, okay, early maturing, but and that requires that we should also go into backyard gardening.
Okay.
Backyard gardening, it doesn't mean you require a big land. It can be done even if you have only a small veranda in your house. You can use empty pots, fill them with sand, and grow your vegetables in them. You can grow your crops that will mature very quickly. That you can also use to add onto the whatever meal you are preparing using the foods that have been provided to you. So backyard gardening is one thing that can help households build their resilience, because you can produce crops throughout the year. You can produce foods throughout the year. The excess of whatever you produce that you cannot consume at the household, you can sell it and invest that money into other needs of the household.
Right. Okay, so I think that is very important. Just quickly, for the benefit of the wider audience, we would be switching to local language so people can also have an understanding of what we are discussing here. Badingol ngal konto gal bismillah new program oto mbaka kamil to yala wole mu World Food Program ti World Food Program do ñu watin kono ye findita nu ini banko molo ka kuke mi yalon ka kumanta bakel wala mako yero mi yalon ko bakke kanu bal wala karola bari adita nu milla sarto lebe lare nunje adu nimmil be jam studio kono bi wol fanansi sen yandoro ke molla milyalon ko wolle ñi mako yero ñi sotono nimmil be jam kacha kono kilimbi je ka fo mi Serigne Modou Diouf mimu Deputy Executive Director wala mu ñanton koti ñaton ko fulan jangon sa fono wo ñama National Disaster Management Agency Gambia jang nomara karola nga min soto je wala mu Bakary Diallo to funambe do ko la bunda min to wala mu National Nutrition Agency de jamali long susundir timari wala karola banko kanjang bitun jandin kacabe jam fala dorom babula la Mr. Diouf aya safo molie ni ko lean season food response mu akata no nyaadi la adi fanan ye mun do mar sifalle fanan di molla milyalon ko wolle be banko ka.
Okay, abaraka bake Mariama aling mandinka kam molal comme ya fo nyame ni amoy lean season wolom karolti miyalon ko balwola karola aka kolya molbulu bake wodo ni ajibe na karol kono Gambia kono jang so be sujuring kari sabaleto wolom July August and September munatinna wo wato le sama kadati wo wato le molka firoke bitun domandingo membe bulu so kono yewo firi inen jiki bakata ngoko wo alabe barka dunna je pour at least ye fen soto na fenketa so membe bulu wo tata femman na folo anu fo balwo yeke so wala tinna nyin kari sabo kolya la balwo la kolya na Sénégal la karola wala tinna komandi a lean season.
Okay.
What the government of the Gambia, in collaboration with WFP, Japan approach, the Department of Japan, country of Japan, ini wakachata pour woli demaroke, nying domor fengola min dita mo dimbati wuli saba, dimbati keme saba, dimbati tan saba anin saba, banku mume kono. Andung a regional minu cover, wolom West Coast region la tundoti, LRR la tundo, Manso Konko, wolom LRR Janjambure, Basse, anin North Bank. Amunto ko ani a KMC. Tonya KMC min bije min yaso to adoyatare bari akata nya yaso amunto ko Banjul doronne man soto ke man ning dum mako lo soto. Mako lo dum abe dende mun na wolo manoti tulo soso anin ko nyinnam fen saboti min dita kari saba wucho kono so nyin dimbatiol nga min foye wuli saba kemen saba tan saba nin saba kilingo kiling nyin karol kono nge kumandila nyin fengol dite la nyin kamma pour bela da nyino sono yandila ila suwol kono
abaraka bake Mr. Diouf yo sen yandi sa uncle Bakary laftale pour ya sen yandi jamal ba fola ko nim batale batabe mo jamal le kang bari laftale pour lamoy la ko ka man salong jumal le multimillion ko nyimma ko rosoto ka bonang WFP nana aning NDMA la ka fo nyinkang jumal le multimillion ko wolle ya soto
Abaraka Mariama baden lamoy lal comme ka fono nyamen tubab kawnto demaro nyin nata ka molle mako men yalon ko nonko kabrin sama datita fonyol ning jio men ketanon ayla ay tinyaro ke la kordalto wo mol fana manke mo beti de bari mol men yalon ko ni wo ketela ye fam fo itata man sakundala bi office to ka fo me NDM ila office membe bank commandant bankol to yeta je ye fam fo je wol nate jibe ka fo ha tonya nyinde nyim fonyo wala nyin sama ay tinyaro ke nyi yele wol tol safeta wol kono mol tombonta wolle to men yalon ko nyin demaro jufe men foten adita wollella bare sarto dol fanan jibero dol keta man dam wol duronna nga programme do soto banko kan mentata nun banko kan kordalto sinkirol to kam wol nyininka e ka wo nyininkarol la jabirol to e ka wol mabo dulato nin demaro nata e kan murun wo jabirol le kan ka jibe jumale nyanta demaro soto la wo kono modol fanan tombonta wol kafuta nyim modol ta men yalon ko samaye la dulaltinya wala fonyo la dulaltinya sama tumo kono comme juufia fo nyamen ay karisabol men foten nyin karisabol len karolte men yalon ko yemen sanunu serung ya domo men totuta nun kabrin samanata ya jama be dundi ila turoto ye turofi wo turofita a falinta be balukam bari amam mofolo amunta ko domoro men dañino men be sokono a sembo talata wo mu nyin jamano le kake wato te me yalon ko konko sembo ka wara banko kan comme nin ko konko ko wala nyinti molla soto dañilo membe laare bulu ila sokono aka tala bakele because ye men soto no ye wodomo kabrin sama sita to men tuta woto ye wodondi turoto silan turo nyim falenta bari do firfol ma mofolo do mor kutete sokono folo
Abaraka Bake ngamira wosen yata betey rek Mr Diouf ma bayla betey ñu waxat ko ci kàllaama Wolof su ko defee mbokk yi ñu déglu ñu xam luñ nekk di waxtaane ci jamono bii ni
waaw jërëjëf Mariama comme niñ ko waxee ci kàllaama tubaab ak soose ndimbal li nga xam ne ni moom lañ nekk di joxe ci jamono biñ toll nii nekk ndimbal boo xam ne mu ngi jógee ci nguur gi ak WFP ñoo jot ndimbal from the government of Japan pour dimbale ñi nga xam ne nii dañoo néew doole wala seen loxo jotu seen gannaaw wala dañ am ay yàqu-yàqute jamono bi nga xamee ni taw bi dafa commencé mu mel na ci wàllu ngelaw li wala mu nekk maanaam mbënd mi mooy ndox mu bari mi so ci kaw loolu ci lañ jëloon ñetti téeméer ak fanweer ak ñetti borom kër yoo xam ne ñoom lañ dimbale ci ci ñetti weer mooy July August ak Septembre ñooñu nag nekkul ne dañ toog rek jël leen lu ñuy neexee am na tëral lu ñu tëddaloon pour xool ku ko xam ne nii da nga war a bokk ci ndimbal bi naka nga cee mën a bokkee ndimbal li it nekkoon na loo xam ne nii demoon na ci tunda yëpp ba mu des Banjul rek ñoo amutoon waaye tunda yëpp dem nañ fa moo koova ñetti junne borom kër fanweeri borom kër ñetti téeméeri borom kër fanweer ak ñetta ndimbali comme ni ma ko waxee maalo la woon diwlin ñebbe ak xorom yi mooy yi nga xam moom lañ doon joxe ci ñetti weer yi passé jamono bi tollu ni ñu ngi ci weer bu mujj bi te séddale bi sax mu ngi war a jeex ëllëg incha allah ci la war a jeex ci CRR waaye pour yëgaleen rek ne ñi nga xam ne nii comme ni ko Bakary waxee mooy ñi nga xam ne bi seen néeg yi daanoo wala ngelaw li yàq na seen néeg yi wala bokkoon na ci am na gëstu buñ defoon di seet nit yi seen dëkkuwaay ak seen am ak koom-koom mooy di social registry ñooñu jëlee nañ fa woon ay nit ñi nga xam ne nii report bi wane woon ne ñooñu bokk nañ ci ñi gën a ndóol ci réew mi ñooñu leen jël boole leen ak ñi nga xam ne reportoon nañ seen case ci seen néeg yi daanu ak yi nga xam ne ngelaw lee ko moo ko xeddi pour ñu bokk ci ndimbal lii so ndimbal li nag comme ni ma ko waxee commencé woon na depuis July 31st incha allah ëllëg ci lay war a jeex ci tundi CRR.
ok jërëjëf dinaa ñëwaat ci yow nga gën a leeral waxtaan bi Uncle Bakary pour na fulaka moy lal fanan ni sa fo no woli kacani mbe min fo kanjan kan dol la milial ko wolle tambe
yo jarama musidɓe hettotoɓe ɓe lebbi tati jawtuɗi ɗi ɓawo ɗo hawrete lebbi ɗi gandanɗa ko ɗin goni lebbi ɗi gandanɗa ñamenteri ndi hewani e galleji he katu ko remano ko wayno ko remano ko rowani ɗum fayda ñamama ko heddi ko hewani no ndungu ngu toɓi koye ɗum ɓe yimɓeɓe ɓangine ɓe ndemi so joni galleji he ko ñamenteri ndi hewani katu ko awano ko ne ɓendani tawon e hawriti noon so ndungu waɗi goɗɗum ɗum waɗat hendu ndiyam ɗam si toɓi ha heewi ne yakkana yimɓeɓe hendu ndu ne yakkana yimɓeɓe ɗum no waɗi noon si ko wowi si joom si yakkorama ndungu ngu waɗi o yakkorama ko yahat waɗa report ɗum to office biteɗo National Disaster Management Office maɓɓe gonɗo e leydi ɗo office commandant ɗo e leyɗele he ɓen mbinde so Allah waɗi noon NDMA ɗum woni laamu Gambia ɗum yo WFP renti ɓe toroye pour ɓe mbawa wallu ɓenni yimɓe siifa e hono ɓe keɓirta ñamenteri e nder hakkunde he ɗo e ko remano ko ɓendu Allah waɗi noon laamu Japan ngu walli laamu Gambia ngu rewe jungo WFP ɗum woni World Food Programme awa e nder ɗi lebbi tati noon ɓe ndenti e minen office amen o biteɗo National Nutrition Agency pour ndi ɗum ñamele keɓaɗe ɗe cakidire e leydi he hokon sa ɓe gokkiranno ko ɗum woni maaro nebbam ñebbe yo lamɗam kono hona yimɓeɓe fof don ko payane temelle e guluje tati temelle tati e capanɗe tati payane walla woɓɓe mbiya ha katane ko ɗen mballa en ko ñamete ɗen katane noon ko leyɗe ɗe fof leyɗe commande fof commandanji ɗi fof ɓaŋama sina leydi Banjul rek woni wattanoka hen kono noon wona wondenam yo jooma fayande fof ɗi foti heɓ kan no kalirmi ni ko payane ɗe gandanɗa joomaɓe fayande ɓe gandanɗa ndungu ngu yakkaniɓe cuuɗili maɓɓe ɗi teɓe jangtoyima ɗum ɓe kolliri wonde nam ɓe jakkirama te ɗum arama laarama wisitama ha ɓe binde ko ɗum wonno o programme hande ko men kalata ko
I think that is clear enough miliyalon ko wolle mun na fulaka mo lalti fanan salon be min ka cakanja Mr. Diouf hani saying ye wato le mamiyalon ko jamal fansi augusto nyale ko nana la ko konko karole mati mo jama ya kan wala august karola wala bari nga jelo fanan ko demaro mu fengo fenti nyaawo nya mo fanan nganta lodu la mentala pour ka je ko ye comme angal ka fu me coping mechanism minebe kele la yamaroti bundal la miliyalon ko mol fanan si wala tano pour ka je ko nsi konko bay no nyami surtout farna fulala musol la karola anendindi wal
yo abaraka bake Mariama comme a fato nun komanto nyamen ya folo ni yamarobe tala wolam nin kibarol fintita ka tandiro ke sama min nyantanala ka fa mini ali woni ko mol be kadati wolto jama bije nin di for ali moli message na sotota ntol kana janne ngatal radio station olte ka fo in the local language ka fo ko nyinnam Gambia ñinan sama mbe jikirin ko abe kelaten bitun ni wo kibaro sotota wo ñanti karande kula killing abina wati jumale yemune fo fula nyango fo ngam fam parendele saba nyango mum fur felle ñanta fila isajo ko niatra jiobe mankila janning ibe manko mi fula be at least wo be mo nolale yaji wol mu fero leti min kake na problem of je mo lam ñenti jama bi je ikafo mol sina fo ko fo ite mo alalet min bina kala sama ite le sa fon toli so molla kibar tabaliya kan naf kan ka ke nafa rangoti wo mu kuleti mi yaron ko ase demaro ko nimmol ka mutonunde ase mol dema fulanjango bawo fenno min yaron ko sango sang akake at least iko fere landol nyantale kake comme en ka gadino soto iko manto ni aje bi jama bi je ni tata iko he banko be koliyari ha abe koliyale kadu ite ko ni man do ko ke ya soto momo ibe damen hani kene ndigo min bije isela jato kije isela kano kije isela pompitero kije isela supame kije isela salato kije e baje ko ite bina min nyini la marseto wala ma fo da mat nyin to mal be aseseno no sokol but it's not the culture mol bu ko wolleta so wala na woku abe koli yakan andu fontol na nyatota fontol fo ngam marala ngaji ko nte nyal bawo nga ni ngeen nonko ngosoto nun kunu ase nyinni sima bi ni tendale soto wota sileme wota muna nyanta kan anu fo balo yeke sa nga initiation nota ni tata korda ida pompo bije waran kolongo bije ifana yela garden dingo ke fen jama bije tan lulu waran keme ke min san marteto ifo ya doku iya ibajel ko ni abe soto nyin abe wo lafala le killing balu nya fanan abe wo sahayandira because e ka fengol minu fi wol be have some vitamins mi yaron ko ni ka domo e ma wafi ase nafa ase la dimba nafa so ni ko be jibe atata nata na banko kan fenkilim bije mi yan ko mo be nyanta ka fo tulotulu wolom daji ka falingo daji ko nyanto falina nim banko mumbele taliti nti afonoro ko ku mansa kundale bakar mansa kunda ala kata folo wala nyinti ko mbe loring ay tanko dinna kayro fanan be kering ise wulino ila so ko yeta ila hajo topoto womu mansa kunda bari wo ko la ifanan ala ya hakilo dila pour que fero landi min satinna ila balwo yeta nya bari ninko mba be tala nga sujidi mansa tunda ha abe kolyala so nyin gadin ko be nata wolto ka sning be mesongoro san ka malayandi abebi yoran sisel ke malayandi ñun be mu ferol leti pour ñin dula kari mantama to do karado setama
asitama no mu keta kuti men ga ko mayata bake a Mr Diouf Uncle Bakary ye Mr Diouf la ko mo moyle ay min fo surtout na nata mol se lodu la min tano pour ka je ko fanal ye konko bay adu nga je ko jama ni konko keta sateto aka mil ko fango sendi ko mo bake abe wol ko no dindi mesengol ani musol milialon ko ibe hadje bu ndato adu nga je ko fanan keta nana la lodu la bati mi alon ko ila kacha jamal bu jabu aka tarawo ma fannal la pour ka je ko domor kendo yake bari fana mol fana lodu la tay la karola surtout musol ndingol la karola me la fila yewoto fana makka chañon ko
abaraka Mariama itonyala nana la lodu la momenti wolen kaje ko baluo memba timmandila nga mol kala mutandala pour mol salon mol yalon ne bari ki hakil blande mol mo eko suose buri ñawña fo yaka fu busola pour a finance buri asa boro la fano ntol kamen ke don wolen ka mol karandi fi wala yemen long fang amanke ka fo fan kutomo ka to folo mola dañino aka folo susola so moni wuluta folo to la dañino bebe sunjuno non nka wala folo bambande isa susuo ke dinno susundi nole kare woro e man ji diala e man domor koten diala ada se baluno ay jata kenda sotuno wokon na futata kare woro la wutole nyanta domor ro nen jior datila ka diala hani bi be continue la ka susundi fo jannabe sanje flo timmandila na sanje flo timmande fana sunjo sake susuro sake nola isa bondinole bari mem betata je ya bula fa ya bondi sunjoto na sanje flo soto ay continue ka domor dul fanan dom na dañino nyanta kala domorol nyanta kala mente a nyanta kala na fenjama bentol bulu jambu ki domo ka fole mandalila sak surtout ñi gadin la fengol wala ñi yiri dingol jama mbuke domo amamme sanje fula ko manto nga kisi roke ngaje ko wala domoros man sembo asembo man wara gambianol kan adu wala fana nyanta mako la na manol ni nyol ni tulol kamen domo pour ka ni e wol sembentu yande pour na jata kenda ya timmano ni ajam ba fola mole gadinoke mole ta karamoto mole ta kunkolto mole ta dokuwala e ko boto ken sama buka lono ni la domoro man timma ite doko kenola nte membe siri njambe diamola nin konko benanu na diamu nya fonte seneala mbe mem folale fate ate alta moynola fan kante diamo fon kenola bare mbe dom diamola albem la moyla bawo konko tenna so nyanta kar domoro muta nga domoro kummayande adun komi nga fo nyamen anen jufana ya fo nyamen nyanta bulo dunna fennato nin kombe senokela ngam bulo dun senoto men yalon ko ka fengol sene men yalon ko e ka mo junale fa ka pare ila ni dinta fana ka siya ya men fana yalon ko e manke e be doku koton la e manke senelalde hani wol fonse seno keno le la suwol kono comme isa poti ni on dano le yela jabol ning mentol ning kanjol ning femmeten dol fije ne wol fije ibe kodo mentala nun kata wo sam marseto ibe o dundila kudol to ning ata dum fan yefen sen ila firu fen siata fan ese dol sono jele ni lafta fan isita wafu asela hajo bunda dol fanan soro yeno so nyanta wullale mobe hani la suokono ika garden ndi on keje an garden amanke kafo hane ba kala kenolto ila jibiro koto ila teroto isa keno dawoda e dula kenen din soto dron e banko bi yake poto kono wala yake boli koto kono yalondi je e firol e fenol fije e ka jibo e ka topoto na mota bete fona fana
akam takule mial ka kuma ta bakele ka to nin ko jata kende ya mo fango e ludu la sotele pour ka je ko e be fengo fenkele kono kono ake koti mialon ka yirwata bakele adun ni ya jibe ni mako ro mo kulati mialon ko dandulale bala woto hadama dingo fana nyanta si e ludu la ta mialon ko tumando bato sinin sama nim mako ro ta fa banda ka nga understand ko sama la be labarna bari hande sayng bata dol bije fay fango si wo ay kat ferel lande mialon ko babondele fanka akam ta wato min tuta jama siya bake bari mbella fela doron surwa kangoto ngi mi fondu mari kangoto ni sa afo pour wol fanansi fahamro ke betay moy jot nañu wax ne ndibal amna waye betay nit ki tam taxaway bu mu wara mëna am ci walu li mo leka la bëggon rek comme niñ ko défé ci source su ko défé ñi ñoo déglu ñu mëna xam li ñoo wax
waaw jërëjëf Mariama comme li ma ko waxee bo démé ci olof ñom ñu ko oyé ci li ñu wone xoddeeku ci bala nga lakkale manam mbir mo xamne dafa xew rek war nga ci jël jéego yoo xam ne nii ëllëg ak si biir di nga aar sa bopp even su fekkee ndimbal amut naam ndimbal baax na trop pour ñu comme niñ ko defee nii waaye nit ñi boo seetloo ñun niñ di faral di defee at bu nekk balaa taw bi di ñëw dinañ di jot xibaar bi nga xam ne moom lañ yaakaar ne ndox mi loolu lay war a mel ci réew mi taw bi fan lay war a gën a bëree te ñaari su amee dañ dee am ay télévision programme ay radio programme pour yëgal nit ñi ne taw naweti ren bi de ñu ngi séntu ne taw bi dina toll ci nangami millimètre dina gën a bëree boor bi nangam yooyu yëpp boo gisee ñu koy def pour nit ñi jàngee ci ne su xamee ne taw bi dafay manqué at least ñu jéem a seet jiw yi nga xam ne dañuy gaaw a ñor su ko defee ak lu ndox manqué yooyu moom boo ko jiyee di nga ci mën a jëfandiku ak lu ndox mi gàtt ga su fekkee ndox mi dafaa bari yooyu nga seet yan njëreef nga war a ji nga xam ne dañ dee dem ba ñetti weer bala ñoo ñor ak yooyu luñ ci war a jàngee la waaye ñu bari dañoo jot xibaar bi rek waaye duñ ko jëfandikoo te loolu benn la ñaareel bi mooy ak loo mun di def utal beneen pexe maanaam dem dugg ci yëfi garden wala nga dugg ci yëfi ay rab yi nii ganaar yeeg yi di ko yer ci nga xam ne xëy na su tool ba yàlla def baaxul am na leneen si loo xam ne ni mun nga see wéeru ba tax ëllëg ak si biir dunda gi ni nga ko séentoo wala ni nga ko yéenee nga mun ko am noonu li problème bi mooy comme ni ma ko waxee ci kàllaama soose mbir mi dañoo jot xibaar bi waaye kenn ci ñun du koy nangu jëfee te loolu li koy waral mooy suñ jikko ji ñun Gambia fii nguur gi mu ngay def kéemtalaay kattan lu mun mu ngi koy def am nañ fi jàmm am nañ fi kaaraange ci biir réew mi loolu tax na ba nit ki da ngaa jógee sa kër nga dem liggéeyi ci jàmm wàcc ñibbi ci jàmm nguur loolu la ñu mën a def to create the enabling environment loolu la ndiir yu mën a def leneen li ci toppa nag ñoo war a ju yow sa boppa nga xalaat ne comme que am naa jàmm ji ndax am na ñu bari ñu ngi koy ut tey ci àdduna di te amuñ ko man lan ak lan laa ci mën a def pour jëriñ suma boppa jëriñ suma famille waaye dañ bugg a jël yëpp di ko teg nguur nangam so mbir mi du dee demee noonu soo xalaateen bi ak mbir yi ni ñu koy jëfee ñun ñëpp suñu waru gar la pour ñu toog xalaataat waxtaanaat ci suñ biir seet mbir yi naka la jikko ji ni mun a soppeekoo ndax réew mi bu jëmee kanam ñun ñëpp la jëmal kanam bu yàqoo itam ñun ñëpp la yàqul kenn ñaanul loolu yàlla waaye toll nañ foo xam ne ni tey kenn ku ci nekk wa ngaa jéem sa kéemtalaay kàttan nga gis ne liñ soxla def nañ ko
jërëjëf Uncle Bakary mbe la filla min be kede la kuma labaŋoti programme to anin fana be yamaro min di la mbaliŋol la mil be lamoy kanji watin kono isa kene mandika kaŋo la anin fula kaŋo
baraka Mariama na kuma labaŋo be kelamenti wala ñinti ko toñalen demaro natal ba demaro fana buka labaŋ katon ka fo le faŋ ni mo soto abe ko kule fanan ke kono le kuy faŋo ni ikoy be jiko be la demar la kan ate laban ñing ketale pour kam mol dema men ya lon ko tiñaro keta men ketela samala kula so ifanan kana je ko ñimbe continuer la c'est ifanan se fere dol landi pour ke fan dema salon ko mobi salon ko fanan ñing ñi manke ko ñanta tala mobe ya ni asoto no mobe ñanta asoto la hani ndeme be siri ñande fana ni double pinkol na en so boto mani boto la mbata la bari amanke wo ñama ya wuli men kamma foyta ya di wala bawo soto ate molbe timma ate futan wala molbe ma bara ku mata menul ya ay futa wala mol salon wo ñama fana ko kala no mi ko pulle wonde nam yo mballor si ari mballor ne hona hunde ne gandanda ko ha faw ko wadi waktu sa hebi balludoma anne ka walitto hoorema so nangani mada anne nanganaɗa hoorema jaadon kono on ballo o mane ko ha dulare wawi fot so yettima ɗon o waha ɗon yawtu an on balleteɗo ne gandira noon wondenam yo balloro ko ɗo wawi fot min foti ɗo ƴeftirde mi kontina minne mi itta hoore amen nde tampere nde gonnomi yimɓe ɓe ne ganda wondenam yo balloro wawa heɓtu yimɓe ɓe foof si tanno ɗum wawno wonno enen fof en keɓanno kono waweta noon so wande si ari ko laarete suɓegol ngol noon wona min Bakary immi jaami mbimi ko Mariama ko Muudou walla ko Ibrahima walla ko Fatou wona noon i wadde sartaji degginaɗe no kalirnomi ni ngan e ɗum andire noon on jarama
baraka Bakary Uncle Bakary ba tey Mr Diouf ma bàyyi la nga tàggatoo ak askan boo xam ne ñooñu nekk di seetaan si jamono jëni
waaw fu ñu leen di waxtu wi jàmb nañu ñu leen di gërëm di leen santa di gërëm WFP di gërëm nguuri Gambia di gërëm ñëpp ñi nga xam ne boole woon bokk defoon nañ ci seen loxo pour gis ne programme bi ni ko designé woon def nañ ko commencé nañ ko ci bismillahi rahmaani rahim jekkali ko ci alhamdulilahi rabbi alamin ndax biñ koy commencé métti woon na trop pour target 3,333 households nekkutoon lu yomba ndax jamono biñ toll ñëpp a ko soxla waaye bëgguñu woon a def lépp loo xam ne ëllëg dina créer problème waaye moo tax tey ñu am date kontaante pour mun a ñëw wax si nit ñi soo gërëm leen sant leen di ñaan façon yi yàlla na fi géej ndax kenn itam du bugg rek all the time ngay tàllal may ma loolu kenn du ko dee ñaan yàlla waaye nag comme que ñu ngi dunda façon yi fu mu jaar di am di gërëm leen ñeen ñëpp di leen sant ci programme bi wasalaam
jërë ngeen jëf si turi National Disaster Management Agency si turi National Nutrition Agency ak ci turi World Food Programme nga xam ne people of Japan ñu jàppale si wàllum dunda bi ni ñu ngi kontaan trop si képp koo xam ne jël nga sa waxtu déglu mbaali ngoon mbaa fala la kala baraka baake waato e mol sonu ñine la bi bari mbaa fala nana to yala mimbu National Nutrition Agency ani National Disaster Management Agency ani World Food Programme ani Gambia Mansakunda mbaa fala Japan koliko a baraka bake ye makoyro min futandi banko mola bari fanan ko oncle Bakary ya fanyama ni Mr Diouf dorong mako rodi ata nyaaw nyantol fanan si lodu lale tano mi alon kon si konko bayno jan surtout ni musol la karola anindi ngol la karola mba fala la kala baraka bake fo wati kote